Packer, and today I will be interviewing Dr. Allen. So, my first question is, tell me about yourself and what got you into the field of being a vet.
Okay, so my name is Dr. Allen Fusco, and as a young boy, I saved all the animals in the neighborhood. Any animal that was sick, stray bird, a turtle that was hurt, came to my house. My brother and I were both interested in helping animals, and from a very early age, I had a strong compassion to help animals wherever they needed help. My strongest influence came by bringing my own pet, which was a black Labrador Retriever named Huxley, to my vet. And I brought him in, and from the moment I came into the vet's office, I was in love with the whole practice of veterinary medicine. The veterinarian was just a kind, compassionate man. I was interested in everything that he was doing with my pet. He let me ask him questions, and then he also let me come in behind the scenes and see the hospital, and he showed me all of the surgical area, the treatment room, the x-ray machine, and I just fell in love with it right away. And from there, I just continued to be interested, and when it was time to go to college, I just signed up for pre-vet.
Okay, that's nice. What was your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge by far was the grades, the academic part, because not only is vet school very hard academically, but to get into vet school, you have to have a very good grade point average with a lot of hard subjects. So I studied all the time in undergraduate when I was in college. And the courses, some of them were very, very difficult. Particularly for me, physics. Very hard for me, but I studied hard and I made it.
What was your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration was my brother, Michael, who is also a veterinarian, and unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago. He was my partner in the practice here at Adams Vet Clinic, but he was my older brother. I looked up to him as a child. He was my best friend, and he was way smarter than I was. So I was inspired by not only his compassion for animals, but he was a good leader for me, and he was an inspiration for me to try to be better each day.
What do you specialize in?
I specialize in small animal veterinary medicine, which is dogs and cats primarily, but I also work on small mammals, exotics, including birds, reptiles, and pretty much, just about any other pet other than large animals.
What would be the ideal pet for a beginner pet owner?
My first pet was a kitty cat. I like kitty cats because they're a pet that is a little harder to take care of than a turtle or a rabbit, but is not nearly as hard to take care of as a dog, which requires a lot of time commitment.
Okay.
What is your favorite pet and why?
Well, first off, I wanted to say that I love all pets. And I've had many, many pets over the course of my lifetime, but the bond that I have with my pet dogs is probably the closest you can have other than a family member. And for that reason, I would choose a dog myself. I heard you have a dog.
Yes.
So what type of dog do you have?
I have a 3-year-old German Shepherd.
And why do you love your dog?
Well, because he's energetic and likes to play. Even though sometimes he can be a little anxious and be a little crazy, I still love him. And he can be really time-consuming, like you said, and he requires a lot of attention.
But you're willing to give him the attention.
Yes.
Because you love him, right?
Yeah.
And he loves you back?
Yes. What do you think would be a good pet for the more experienced pet owners?
I think any pet that can be loved and cared for is a good pet for anyone. I don't necessarily feel that one pet is a better pet for someone. Some people love rabbits, some people love ferrets, some people love dogs, some people love cats. As long as that person is willing to make the commitment and learn about how to care for their pet and love them, almost any pet, can be a good pet.
What is the most dangerous animal you've worked with?
The most dangerous animal that I ever worked on was a large reptile. And it turned out that I was working in Atlanta at a veterinary clinic, and a reptile was being delivered to a zoo, and it got hurt during the shipment. And that reptile, no one would work on it because everyone was scared to work on it. It was a large monitor. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, but they're very, very big. This monitor was over 6 feet long, and it turned out that it injured its leg. And I worked on that, and that was scary.
What kind of monitor was it?
Actually, you know what? I'm trying to remember which one that was. Let me ask Jenny. She'll know. Janet. I got it. I just remember now. This particular monitor was a Komodo dragon.
Oh, Komodo Islands.
Yep.
They originated from the Komodo Islands, and they're one of the most venomous lizards there are.
Yes.
People don't think that they're venomous, but their venom glands actually come through from their saliva.
Oh, so you studied them.
Yes.
Very good, very good. I'm very proud. So I started working on this monitor because people asked me if I would help it, and and I agreed to do it, but I have to tell you, I was very, very nervous.
Can you explain to me what would be an ideal working environment?
An ideal working environment is what I have here in my veterinary hospital because I love coming to work every day. We have a talented staff of dedicated animal caretakers. We get to take care of the public's pets all day long, and I've been doing this for 35 years now and love every day of it.
Nice. How often do you work under pressure, and how does it feel? And can you give us a situation?
I think, first of all, that's a great question because this job has its moments of calmness, and it also has its moments where things are an emergency and have to be taken care of immediately. I would say that the most pressure that we have in the hospital is doing emergency surgeries. So if a dog's hit by a car and they're bleeding, or there's an internal injury and we have to stabilize them to help them to survive, everyone's working hard, everyone's working fast, but everyone's working professionally to a common goal to save the pet. And those moments are stressful.
How does it feel to be under such great pressure?
I personally signed up for this so that I could help all animals, and I accept the pressure that goes with it. And to me, it's part of the job, it's part of the challenge, and it's what drives me to try to save as many animals as I can.
I know I'm only 11, but can you give me any tips to start my career?
The most important tip that I can give you is to start your education and take it seriously right now. Because to get into veterinary school is a lot of competition with other students, and they only select the top few, and the only way that you're going to be in that top few is if you are a good student. And you study hard, work hard, make good grades, and continue to excel in the classroom. I need to talk to her. I gotta show the x-rays.
Right, but we'll let
No medicine because I'm waiting for the blood work tomorrow.
And
I'm
then
gonna show the.
I know it's hot in Miami, so I wanted to ask, do you have any tips for the owners out there?
I certainly do. Most important thing during the summer is never leave your pets locked in a hot car, just like you wouldn't leave a child locked in a hot car. I also don't recommend walking a pet for exercise during the heat of the day. Go out early in the morning before the sun is strong, and then in the evening when the sun goes down. It's also very important when you're walking your dog on pavement to check the pavement's temperature with your hand to make sure that it's not hot to the touch. Because when you're walking your pet, if he's walking and his paws are touching a hot asphalt, he could burn his feet and develop a really bad infection on the feet and a bad burn. Making sure your pet has plenty of water, during the summer, and it has, and can easily get to that water bowl. It's very important also that if your pet seems overheated after a walk or being outside for even a few minutes, to make sure you cool your pet off. And I like to do is take a hose or take a shower head and rinse them completely from head to toe in cool water to completely cool down their body.
So, well, I have a German Shepherd at home. When he sees a water hose, he wants to play. So do you have any tips for helping me keeping him under control, washing him down?
Well, I think the most important part is when you're doing something new with your pet, make sure that you do it consistently so that he gets used to it and he gets comfortable. When you're doing a bath, I recommend putting the hose on a low volume so that he gets used to the water, and then slowly increase the pressure so that it's not a big, a big shock to him to have all this water go over his body. And then also maybe bring a couple of treats there while you're giving him the bath so that you reward him for his good behavior. And then after you do the bath, maybe you can go for a nice run or some exercise with him, or do one of his favorite things, take him to the beach, do something fun to let him know that the bath wasn't a punishment and that it was just for his own benefit.
Thank you, Dr. Allen, for letting me stop by and interview you.
You're very welcome, and I will have to say I am very impressed with you. Very impressed with just the way you speak. I'm impressed with your knowledge of all animals, and I'm impressed with the fact that you're here today on your own time to learn more about being a veterinary doctor. And I really wish you the best, and I hope that one day you're sitting side beside me and that you're my associate at the veterinary clinic today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hope to see you soon. Signing off, DJ Daniel Hacker.